Welcome everybody, I am Tyranuxus and today I would like to talk about Jeremy Canon in the Heroes 3 Horn of the Abyss. Jeremy and Canon is a strategy which comes in this expansion and I recommend you to use it because it's a lot better than Shadow of Death, I guess, and you don't have the bugs which are in Shadow of Death. You have some more buildings, some more banks. Just play this. Also, there came one more town, which is called Hove. 7 new units, 16 new heroes, more in the campaign, and one of those is Jeremy. So Jeremy is very similar to the heroes which are starting with Ballista, such as Christian, Torosar, Tyre, I don't know, Arlach, there we have even Ramlu and Gurnison, and Gerwolf, but Gerwolf doesn't matter. So he's pretty close to those people, but what makes Jeremy a lot stronger? What? Why there is no Christian strategy? Okay, Ramsrock plays Christian, but it's not obviously the best he can play with. So what is this Jeremy Canon? What makes him so strong? Okay, so we need to start very deeply from the basics. Firstly, Jeremy is a captain class, and captains are, I think, as good as the dungeon heroes. They have high chance of getting earth magic. They have a good chance of getting attack and defense instead of power and knowledge. And they have everything what you want to have as main hero. Also, Jeremy starts with logistics, so this is pretty good. And Jeremy starts with War Machine Cannon, which costs normally 5,000 gold, and the Ballista costs 2,500. Also, what you should have noticed, always where you start with War Machine, you don't have one stack of your unit. This time with Jeremy you don't have crewmate, and crewmate is just a simply myth. It doesn't matter, they will just eventually die. But you have quick nymphs and shooting pirates. Let's have a look what will happen if you will start with one of those people with artillery and ballista from the other towns. With Christian you don't have marksmen. Oops. There you don't have even artillery. What the fuck is this? There you don't have Gox, but Tyre is a good hero because of thanks to logistics, and later on I will compare Tyre with her ballista to Jeremy and his cannon, because it will be very easy to see the differences between this hero and Jeremy. There we have Ranlu, because there is no Garfran in the Horn of the Abyss expansion, simply because Garfran is just too strong. And we have Ranlu, who is a fine hero, and you don't have Walking Dead, so this is pretty good. In the dungeon you don't have Harpies and offense, it's fine. There you have offense and no Wolf Riders, which is depends, but it's okay. And Gerwolf, when you don't have attack skill, your ballista is not doing damage. You will know about that a bit more in a second, but trust me, if you don't have attack skill, this ballista will do no damage. And also Gerwolf starts with no lizardmans, so no point starting with this hero at all, unless you have him in tavern and you want to buy him for 3 ballista, then it's okay. And Jeremy. So Jeremy doesn't have these disadvantages because of starting with less shooters. No, he doesn't have it. Okay, so this is a small introduction. You can say, man, it doesn't make Jeremy that strong. It's just some small things what you can negate later on by getting something from map with, for example, Christian, and he will be stronger. I can agree, but you don't know everything. So let's go to the next part. Alright, so now let's start a map. notice timer, and let's create a simple Zebus Cross map as multiplayer. So firstly, we have this Jeremy, and secondly, the pro gamer has Tyranuxus. Because of that, I did this just to show you there's some differences, and it's definitely too quick. So let's find any creature, any wonders, workers. So let's fight them. Normally you will buy some army and do that stuff, but let's just fight. Fighting gremlins. Why we are doing that? Because we want to see some more things about Canon itself. So Canon is a unit, it's a war machine, who is having basic 20 attack skill, 10 defense, have 8 shots, damage is here, and the calculation about its damage will be later. Health is 250, and does it matter, speed is known. Attack, also with Canon, you can attack the fortifications once you are attacking a town. So if you want to, you can use it to destroy, for example, the town gate or anything else. So that was the Canon. And now we should go to the Pyre. So Pyre, please, can you find any creature to fight? Yes, you can. You don't have shooters this time, which is kinda shame. But just because we want to see more information, let's do that and see. So Ballista, as you can see, only 10 attack skill, Canon had 20. Defense skill is only 10, but it's the same for Canon. Shots are 24, but later on the Ballista will shoot twice, so we have only 12 rounds, not 24. And Canon has 8. Damage calculation will be later, and health is the same. You can't attack the fortifications with Ballista. So there are some differences, but not that big ones. Firstly, Ballista has 10 less attack skill, or Canon has 10 attack skill more. And amount of shots, I think we couldn't forget about that, because you will never have a fight which will last more than 8 rounds. Not really. Even if you will have 9 rounds fight, I mean, no, that doesn't matter. You will not run out of your shots with Canon, because Canon is doing more damage, so the fight will last, I mean, shorter. The health is the same, defense the same, so it's as tanky as Canon, but is doing less damage because of less attack skill. Alright, so this is a small introduction to the people who didn't know much about the Ballista and Canon. Now let's do some more detailed comparisons. Okay, before doing more comparisons, let's have a look at our artillery secondary skill. So, basic artillery gives the hero control of the Ballista, defense towers, and the cannon. It also gives the Ballista a 50% chance to inflict double damage. The cannon inflicts additional damage to fortifications. So as you can see, simply you can control Ballista and cannon, and Ballista will have a bit more of damage because of the chance to attack, the chance to do double damage. Let's see what will happen if we'll level up artillery. Not this time. Not this time. And now we can do it. So once we have advanced artillery, it gives the hero control of the Ballista, defense towers and cannon. It also gives the Ballista 75% chance to inflict double damage. Ballista shots twice. So as you can see, Ballista gets a lot from this advanced artillery. The cannon inflicts double damage, and it inflicts additional damage to the fortifications. So what you can see, Ballista, their damage will grow quite significantly, and Cannon also gets a lot because of the advanced artillery. But look, it's 75% chance to inflict double damage, and Ballista shot twice, so you have only 1/4 chance to not do double damage. So if you shoot 4 times, 3 times it will be double damage, and 1 time it won't be. Let's have a look what is going to happen if we have expert artillery. So with expert artillery, the Ballista inflicts always double damage and shots twice, and Cannon inflicts triple damage and maximum damage to fortifications. So as you can see, the expert artillery and advanced artillery for the Ballista didn't do much. This doesn't change that much, but for Cannon, now we can do triple damage. It's of course not that simple formula about triple damage. I will show you the numbers and calculations in a moment, but you can trust me that advanced artillery for Ballista and expert artillery for Ballista is almost like no difference. But for Cannon, it is a huge difference. It gives Cannon a lot of extra free damage. Okay, so as you can see, that means we want to have advanced artillery for the heroes with Ballista, example Pyre, and you don't want to have expert, you don't need it. And for Jeremy, you want to have expert artillery as soon as possible. Alright, let's go to the next part. Okay, so now let's talk about the formulas, how the damage is calculated. So the first formula is for the Ballista. It's from 2 to 3 per the attack skill of hero plus 1. So for example, Pyre with 9 attack skill, there is 10, will have a Ballista which will do damage from 20 to 30. The Cannon with having this formula from 5 to 8 and attack skill plus 1. So for example, Jeremy with 9 attack skill, so 10 is here, the Cannon will do from 50 to 80. So as you can see on this image, it's when Jeremy has 9 attack skill, damage from 50 to 80. Later on you need to also, because it's only base damage, you need to also understand how the damage you can inflict to units is calculated. So the total damage. It's the simplest formula and it doesn't work when you have artillery or archery or anything, but it's the easiest way to understand the basics, and in a second I will show you the more detailed things. So this one, the first one, works when the attack skill of the unit which is attacking is higher than the defense of the unit who is defending and just being attacked. So this is the example. Cannon 31 attack skill and Cerber 8 defense. So then this formula will work and we'll have there 31, 8, which will be 23, and this will be 23 per divided by 20 is 1 and something, so there will be 1 plus 1, so it's 2, so we will do just double damage, let's say double damage, double the base damage. This will be the total damage. But once your attack skill is lower than the defense of the unit which is defending, let's say Cerber is attacking Cannon, Cerber 10 attack skill, Cannon 14 defense. So then this formula will work, and just the difference is 20 and 40, but it's very close to 1. It's very close to 1 because it's only the difference of 4. So it's 4 per divided by 40, it's 0.1, so minus 0.1, so this should be 0.9, so it's just almost the base damage, which will thereby have, so 27 Cerberus per 2 to 7, this will be their damage. So let's say 5, 100, 135, but a bit less. So this is how it works. For Canon, most likely you will have this formula when attacking, because like 20 attack skill at the beginning is just a lot, and Jeremy has some basics attack skill, and just, I don't know, archangels are as tanky to do this formula. I mean, always, just always you will do that one. For the ballista, when you have only 10 attack skill in ballista, it depends. Sometimes this one works, sometimes this one. But it's not what makes Canon that strong, although it helps Canon a lot, because you can just simply do a lot more damage for free, because you have more attack skill. So as you can see, more attack skill here gives you more damage, just so simple. But it's not enough detailed to simply say, okay, Canon's overpowered. Let's go to the next part. Alright, so when it comes to the expert artillery, there are some changes in the calculations of damage. Firstly, we can see the ballista, and what have changed here is that we have this 2 here, which means the ballista shots twice, and the information that it inflicts double damage means that we have one more base damage here added to the total damage. It works that way in the Heroes 3, don't know why, and the same way it works with like luck. Luck also gives you one more like base damage without this calculation, which includes the attack and defense difference, and just adds the base damage. So as you remember, when you have like huge army with a very good hero and you are attacking something small, let's say you have many archangels, they do 2000 damage. When they have luck, they do 2500 damage. This is not double damage because of the calculation. So it's working that way. For the Canon, we can see the calculations here. We can know that the Canon inflicts triple damage. That means we have 2 times the base damage added to the total damage. Okay, but come on, just stop, it's not interesting. Why is Canon strong? I don't know anything about those numbers. Just tell me, what does it mean? That should be your question, probably. But maybe some of you want to see more detailed informations, and this is just perfect video to watch, I guess. So, let's go to some examples, because with examples it's the easiest to understand. So let's go. Okay, so there we have some detailed information. The comparison between Tyra and Jeremy. About those numbers, you don't even need to look. I mean, this is kinda true, but not always. It is true only if the attack and defense of, let's say, Canon and Canon's target is the same. Then it works. If it's not the same, it's not that simple, you know, about formulas, yes, but let's leave it alone here. Let it be. So, all the calculations are made when you have expert artillery, because you always want to have expert artillery when you are specialist of the Canon or artillery and just maximize the damage, yes. Some differences, base attack skill 10, Canon 20, formulas are here also, and there are some more numbers to change, to not change, but to show the difference. So let's say we have a hero, let's say with 5 attack skill, later 10, 15 and 20. We are always attacking the unit which is having 10 defense. It's like Griffin, like any level 3-4 creature. Around this it will be 10 defense. Of course, later maybe you'll have to fight dragons or maybe even imps, but the 10 defense is the moment when you really want to do as much as you can with ballista, because versus imps probably your arm is enough, versus dragons you need to have small, not only cannon, okay? So this is the moment when cannon or ballista is doing its job. More likely, around this area, 10 defense. So, when your hero has 5 attack skill, and the ballista will do 15 damage, it's average damage, so let's say that ballista do 2.5 always, and cannon do 6.5 always. No, no change, no 5, no 8, just the middle. Of course you can bless, but forget about this for now. So, 15 for ballista, 39 for cannon, but it's the base damage, and when you are shooting, you're exactly doing 68 or 146. So this is a small difference, and it's not only about, this is 2 times more, I mean, doesn't matter, but look at this that way. You have probably 2-3 runs in this fight, not more, and if you will kill 3 griffins and then let's say 17 will attack you, it's kinda scary, but if you will kill 2 times more, you will kill 6 griffins and only 14 will attack you, and then you will kill one more time 6 of them, I mean, this makes difference, yes? Of course it makes difference. It's kinda hard to explain, but those numbers are big. Later, let's say you have 15 attack skill in your hero, ballista 40 damage. I mean, what is that? What is 40 damage? That's nothing. And the cannon 104. This is the base damage. To the unit you can do 220 or 440. So this is like 2 times more, and this is almost 2 times more. Later on, the ballista is trying to catch cannon in terms of the damage it can do, but we can say that cannon with expert artillery is almost always doing 2 times more damage than the ballista. Alright, so those were some numbers, and let's go to one more, even more interesting part. Alright, so now the time is for the graph. The lines represent the damage you can do with ballista or cannon with or without artillery on the basic, advanced, expert level. Here is hero's attack skill from 0 to 20. When you have 20 attack skill on your hero, you have probably some more units which are doing damage, and you no longer need the cannon, but always it helps kinda. The most efficiently time for cannon when you can use it is from, let's say, 5 to 15 attack skill of your hero, so this is the middle of this, and let's just compare. Of course, one more time, we will be shooting at the unit with 10 defense skill. Of course, once the unit is close to us and we don't have the range penalty, and there we can see how much damage exactly we can do with our machine. So first of all, the blue one represents the ballista without artillery. The next one, the red one I guess, represents the ballista with basic artillery, so not huge change. Later, the green one represents the ballista with advanced artillery. So as you can see, damage changes quite a lot, as I said, and expert artillery doesn't do that much comparable to advanced artillery, but of course when you need to, you will level up it. Next we have the cannon, and there where we have the orange line, there's also the, let's say, blue line, and they both represent the damage for cannon when you have no artillery or basic artillery, because as you remember, the damage is the same. Basic artillery doesn't give you anything. Later on, you have the Canon with advanced artillery, and at last you have Canon with expert artillery. So you can, without doubt, say that Canon is just a way better every time, comparable to Ballista. You may say that, okay, maybe it can do more damage per shot, but Ballista has 12 rounds of shooting and Canon only 8. I mean, when you will be based on the Ballista damage only, probably never, and 8 rounds, it's way too much anyway. You won't have 8 rounds fights many times, and even if I think that 8 shots with Canon will do a way better job than 12 shots with Ballista. Okay, so what can we see here also is the point that Canon, even without artillery, will be always better even if a hero has artillery on expert and Ballista. So, starting with Jeremy gives you free Canon, which costs a lot, so you have it for free, and you can give the Canon to everybody, and it's like a free machine which have a lot of tankiness and is doing more damage even than the Ballista with expert artillery. Of course, when you have Jeremy and his artillery is probably on expert, your damage will be even higher, so that makes sense to put some efforts to get artillery on expert. Alright, so let's for example say we are level 2, 3, 4. We just got expert artillery with our Jeremy and with our Pyrrha. So let's say we have 6 attack skill. So Pyrrha will do with her Ballista less than 100 damage, when the Canon will do not 200, but it's close to 200. As you can see, when you have 7 attack skill, it will be pretty easy to see the difference. 100 damage for Ballista, 200 damage for the Canon. And the change grows with your attack skill. So like when you have 13, for example, 200 damage with Ballista, when almost 400 with Canon. Alright, so those are enough, I think, to say that Canon is just a way better than the Ballista, and that makes Jeremy a pretty good hero to start with. But there should be a question from you to me. Okay, so we all know the Canon is strong, but how make Canon even stronger? I just got level up with Jeremy, and he is offered to have archery. Should I get archery on Jeremy to increase the damage the Canon can do? That's your question, yes? So the answer will be in a second, and it's pretty interesting. Alright, so there you have your answer. When you have expert archery, which gives 50% more damage, it also works with only base damage. It ignores the difference between attack and defense. It's how the Hero's free damage formulas works. And Lucky Strike will be 3.0 with archery 3.5. Now, is it worth it? Is it worth to get expert archery to increase the damage for Canon? No, it's not worth. The average damage increase will be 12.5%. This is not enough to take 3 level ups and get expert archery. But if your map contains a lot of shooting units, such as many Cyclopses or Titans or other great shooters, then expert archery or archery at all is useful and you should do it. But for Canon itself, no, it's not worth. So 12.5% more damage you will do when you have the expert archery, comparable to your position when you don't have expert archery. If you want to see the graph, does it work? No, it doesn't. So I think this should do it. And now you can see the graph. The pink line is the same as the previously. So this is Canon with expert artillery. And the blue one is Canon with expert artillery and with expert archery. So as you can see, it doesn't change much. Look, 6 attack skill, you can do 200 damage. Without it, you can do 180. 10 attack skill, you can do, 30-40 damage difference is not enough because you need to get 3 levels with this archer. You can have at this point expert pathfinding, logistics, offense, wisdom, earth magic, air magic, tactics. Don't do archery unless there are like many shooting units which will be your power stack, but don't do it for the cannon itself. Same for ballista. With ballista it's a bit better. Archery for ballista is slightly better, slightly more worthy, but still not enough worthy to just take the archery, yes, and we will win the game. No, it's not working that way. So artillery, and that's it. Don't need archery. Alright, so this was it, and thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. If you enjoyed that, let me know with likes or any comments, any suggestions. Maybe I said something wrongly, maybe there are some mistakes which I should not make, and just waiting for you to answer. And goodbye. Have a nice day and play with Jeremy Canon.